There's so many original things about the show, but first and foremost, it is it's a sitcom about, you play a first generation American Muslim, and there's so many similarities, I'm sure, to your own life. And one of the most powerful episodes of the first season was a flashback to, September 11th, 2001, when the character on the show, played by a younger actor, is in school and suddenly he comes up against this, prejudice and fear and hatred that he had not experienced before. How much did that come from your own experience? How much of the show comes from your own experience growing up in New Jersey?
When we're crafting the Ramy character, we're always kind of trying to find him in the places that he's hiding. We're looking at kind of stripping back, in a way, the performance that we all do as people. And we really try to get to his ego. We try and get to his fears, and we kind of lead with that. So in a lot of ways, the character throughout the whole series really feels like alternate reality me, feels like me on a different timeline, me if things were different. Key things like if I didn't have a creative passion, if I didn't have a family that was as communicative as it is. And so we really try to zone in on just the emotion and then expand on that. And I think that's really what happened in that episode too, was looking at a lot of scenarios from being a kid, but really zoning in on what was the most real feeling to me, which is growing up in middle school, kind of at the real surge of the 24-hour news network. It's not the way that it is now until probably around that time. I mean, 9/11 really finds the news cycle in its prime. And then you are growing up and you're seeing the names of people in your family, the language that you speak. The only cultural context for it that's kind of blasting throughout the entire country is that of terrorism. And so we really wanted to explore. What was interesting for me was, there's like a shift that happens towards this kid, but what he really starts to do is be afraid of himself. He's afraid of his own culture. He's afraid of his own fear. And then he's almost even afraid of his own family. And we really wanted to look at what that feeling was. And the show doesn't talk about terrorism, barely. But when we do it, it's through the lens of a kid, because I felt like that was the most interesting perspective.